Hello friends, welcome back to Nandip Academy's UPSC answer writing program. Today we are going to discuss a question on disaster management. Uh, Straight away go to the question. I'll tell you some examples. There is a pattern in questions from disaster management. If you get that pattern, it becomes very easy for you to answer any question on disaster management. So while we're discussing the question, I'll let you know what exactly should be done when you're studying disaster management. The question is, describe the various causes and effects of landslides. Mention the important components of landslide risk management program. Now, there are two parts in this question. The first is describing the various causes and effects of landslides, and the second part is about a policy, the National Landslide Risk Management Policy. So, as usual, first we'll see the focus and locus of the question. Now, in this question, the focus, there are two focuses, important ones. One is causes and effects of landslides. The first focus is what are the causes and effects of landslides. The other focus is what are the important components of National Landslide Risk Management Program. Okay, so this becomes a very big question. So 250 words is the word limit for this, and the locus here is landslide. So we are not supposed to write too much on landslides. We'll be focusing on what are the causes, what are the effects of landslides, and what are the important components of National Landslide Risk Management. The first part of the question that we're going to say is the introduction. Now, I can also tell you that briefly write about landslides, but I purposely give you a clear-cut introduction and conclusion because I think introduction and conclusion are the two most tricky parts in the question. Body part, you read in the books and almost everyone knows how to deal with the body. But writing introduction becomes very tricky. Now, when you have a question on disaster management, I want you to be very specific about some disasters. Now, for example, let's see landslides. Now, first define landslides. What is landslide? So, landslide is defined as the movement of mass of rock, debris, or earth down a slope. Now, this is geographic definition. There will be some component from geography in disaster management, but keep it very limited. Landslides are a type of mass wasting which denotes any downslope movement of soil and rock under the direct influence of gravity. So this is a geographic part that you'll have to write in disaster management, because all the disasters that you'll write about, some geographic aspect will be there. Now this part I think is very important, and every student, when you're writing a question on disaster management, you should know this point. Now, according to NIDM, what is NIDM? National Institute of Disaster Management, approximately 12.6% of India's geographical land area is prone to landslides. Now, if you know NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, this is the apex or nodal agency to deal with disasters in India. Now, this agency has given us the percentage of land in India that is prone to different disasters. So writing this gives an idea to the examiner that you're very focused and you know the disaster in and out. Okay, so 12.6% of the area, India's land area, is prone to landslides according to NIDM, that is National Institute of Disaster Management. So yeah, this you can write for floods, you can write this for earthquakes also. Now earthquake, for example, in the last lecture we had seen that 59% of India's area is prone to earthquakes. So please remember these numbers for all kinds of disasters. Now, coming to the body part of the question, what are the causes of landslides? Because this is a very big question, let's make it very precise. The first reason here is morphological causes. Okay, so there can be tectonic or volcanic uplifts that can result into landslides, then erosion due to wind and water, and removal of vegetation. Now, when you're writing such questions, make it a point to write examples. Now, when you're writing removal of vegetations, a very good example of such kind of disaster is Malin in Maharashtra. Right? Malin in Maharashtra was a very big landslide that happened in 2014. Okay, so this is a very good case study that you can mention here. Then you have geological causes, right? Weak, sensitive, and weathered material, presence of joints and fissures, variation in physical properties such as permeability. This is one reason for landslides. Then you have physical causes. Okay, intense rainfall. Now, this is one what happens in Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh in India, or all the Himalayan states in India. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, rapid snow melt, avalanche is a form of landslide. Here, instead of derbies, rocks and mud, there is flow of snow. Now, example is landslides in Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. So, writing this example is very important. You should know all the important case studies that have happened recently in India. Uh, Now, the most important reason is the anthropogenic causes. What are the man-made causes because of which landslides happen? So, excavation of slope, very important. Deposition of load on the slopes. Deforestation, the most important reason. Mining, another important reason. Irrigation and artificial vibrations. So, this was, again, perfect example is in Marine 2014 in Maharashtra, because Geological Survey of India studied marine incident or landslides and came up with a report which said deforestation and artificial vibrations were the main or important reasons for landslides in marine. Okay, so these are the causes for landslides. Now let's look at the next focus, that is what are the effects of landslides. Now we can make this part very small and precise. So you know what kind of effects are seen because of landslides. Now first I'll focus on the economic losses. When I say economic, then I've tried to explain this loss of cultivable land. There is loss of infrastructure also. Example I've given here, landslides in Himachal Pradesh in 2023. Now the economic loss in Himachal Pradesh was to the tune of 10,000 crore rupees. Okay, so this is a very big economic loss. Then you have environmental impacts as well in terms of erosion of soil. Then demographic impacts also in terms of relocation of people. Okay, now here I've given a good example, that is Joshimath in Uttarakhand. Because of the subsiding land in Joshimath or landslides in Joshimath, many people had to forcibly relocate, or there was displacement of people from Joshimath in Uttarakhand. And then impacts on river ecosystems also. Many rivers can change the flow patterns because of landslides. So these are some effects of landslides. Then the another focus is components of National Landslide Risk Management Strategy. This strategy was given by National Disaster Management Authority. Okay, there were 6 subgroups or expert groups that were set up to study different components. Now you just have to mention the highlight or the headings of these components. Now first is generation of user-friendly landslide hazard maps. So we already have a hazard map of India wherein all the Himalayan states are prone to landslides. Then development of landslide monitoring and early warning system. No matter what question on disaster management you write, this has to be a part of your answer, that is early warning systems, right? Then awareness program, again same, this point will be applicable to all the disasters. Capacity building and training of stakeholders, another important point. Now, this is what I was telling you about. All the questions on disaster management will have the same solutions. Okay, not because it is the National Landslide Risk Management Strategy. You take any strategy for any disaster, it will compulsory have these points, or even this point also. Okay, so these were the 4 points. There are 2 more that we need to understand. That is preparation of mountain zone regulations and policies, because Himalayan states in India or northeastern states are more prone to landslides in India. Preparation of mountain zone regulations and policies is important. And the last is stabilization and mitigation of landslides and creation of special purpose vehicles for landslide management. Okay, because normal administrative machinery is not sufficient to deal with landslides. So we should create a special purpose vehicle for the same. Now, the last part of the answer is conclusion. This is my conclusion. Your conclusion can be different than what I have written here. Due to aggravating climate change and global warming situation, landslides have become frequent in Himalayan states in India. So you tell the examiner that this is going to be a more serious issue in coming days. Implementation of the National Landslide Risk Management Strategy on ground is crucial to control the losses that result from landslides, and also strategies focusing on mitigation and adaptation. These are the 2 most important words when you're going to write answers on disaster management. Mitigation and adaptation strategies should be encouraged. Okay, so this was a big question. So the last part of the question is actually applicable to any kind of disasters. So make it a point that the last strategy that we have seen, you can straight away implement it any kind of disasters. So that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.